So last night, for those that missed it, my Chicago Bulls made the playoffs when I did not want them to and got pooped on by Isaiah Thomas. Chat's team, the San Diego Clippers, still in San Diego, lost in 7 to the Dallas Mavericks. Another second-round exodus. Chat's team has been looking to win as soon as they can, and you can see why with a roster like that and someone like Terry Cummings, who has been absolutely insane, but it hasn't been enough. And, of course, for my Bulls, I discovered that whether or not, of course, he was Hakeem at the time, but if you prefer Hakeem Olajuwon, that's fine. He is good enough to drag a pretty mid team to the playoffs almost single-handedly alongside Joe Dumars. So my plans may change as well for what we have going on here. Let's find out who's going to the NBA Final. Unsurprisingly, Magic Johnson and the Lakers make it. They'll take on the Milwaukee Bucks. And the winner of the NBA Final, Magic Johnson, and the LA Lakers, with Magic winning Finals MVP. Averaged a double-double. So there it is, a 5-game series. The LA Lakers win another championship, and that brings us to a very, very big offseason. We start off with player retirements. It was we see the departure of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So Kareem has left the league. Spent the last hour playing a Way Out. Way Out was a great game. Love that game. Are we able to trade up in the draft? No. And as it is, you guys don't even have your first round pick this year. So that's a problem for you guys. Dan Issel's also gone. Bismack Darling is a great name. I agree. Staff retirements. Couple of names, that's fine. Hall of Fame inductees, obviously, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is heading to the Hall of Fame. You guys just didn't have the first. Jersey retirements, Kareem's number 33 for the Lakers. In terms of historic changes, the Bucks changing their uniform and floor, while the Warriors change their unis, and that's it. And no rule changes happened in this year. So here we go. The draft lottery. I forgot that I had Seattle's pick. Even though the Bulls made the playoffs, they are still in the lottery. A 1 in 7 shot. A 1 in 7 shot. Much like last year. Now, again, last year I ended up with the 4th. It is their pick that is top 3 protected. So if it lands top 3 for me, Seattle retains the pick. But 4 through 7 would be delightful for me. So the last time I wanted to do well in the lottery, well, first and foremost, I lost a coin toss and missed out on Michael Jordan. Got Olajuwon. Last time we ended up with about the 4th pick. So I need to hope that this is 4 through 7 to land me a pretty decent player. Maybe even a Dennis Rodman. Bring him to Chicago early. Here we go. Come on, Chicago. Chicago. Okay, Phoenix. That is true. A top 3 could be dangerous for next year. Next year's draft is an interesting one as well. Come on, Chicago. Chicago. Nope, the Spurs. Who went from 7 to 1 last year. You got Patrick Ewing. Bastards. All right, 2 more chances. Come on, Chicago. Chicago. Oh, God. All right, 1 more chance. If this one isn't me, Seattle keeps their pick and I get their first next year. Seattle will keep their pick and I will get their first rounder next season. Okay. That's all right. I would rather have the first round pick for next year's draft. Next year's draft is better. So I'm okay with that. That means I get a chance. David Robinson, Scottie Pippen. It's a little bit better than a Jeff Hornacek. So I'm okay with it. And that next year's pick is unprotected. Indeed. Wow, the pick ended up being number 1. Imagine if it was unprotected. So Seattle will have the number 1 overall pick which means I get their first rounder next season. Which is fine by me. So we get their picks next year. The Bulls have the 8th overall pick. Okay. And again, the Clippers do not have a pick. It would have been, it's now Cleveland at 22. So I still get the 8th overall pick, which is very nice. Still likely to get somebody half decent. We'll take it. Oops. So to the draft we go. The 1986 NBA drafts. Seattle, with the first overall pick, selects point guard Mark Price. We're just using the in-game draft classes. I figured the user classes weren't quite up to snuff yet. Mark Price finished this draft 6th in scoring, IRL. I believe he was 2nd for assists, though, if not 3rd. So, bold strategy. Atlanta, 2nd overall, take Arvydas Sabonis, who finished 12th in scoring from this draft. Sabonis. All right. IRL, he went 24th. Wow. 3rd overall, the Sacramento Kings select forward Chuck Person, who was 3rd in scoring from this draft. You got the Washington Bullets at 4. They select Dennis Rodman. I would have needed a top 4 pick to end up with Dennis Rodman. Still got someone like Jeff Hornacek and Ron Harper on the board, though. That's not bad. With the 8th pick, we'll see if they get there. Dennis Rodman to Washington. The Knicks at 5 select center Brad Daugherty, the big man out of UNC. He was very good in last year's franchise, too. At 6, the San Antonio Spurs select point guard Ron Harper. He'll work very well with Patrick Ewing. Phoenix, are you going to screw me here? I'm hoping to see Jeff Hornacek on the board. Worst case scenario, Johnny Newman, Del Curry, Kevin Duckworth. I need this to not be Jeff Hornacek. Don't be Jeff Hornacek. So they took a generated dude by the name of Mark Berry. The Bulls are on the clock, and with no trade offers, oh man, Kenny Walker. Maybe they underrated Jeff Hornacek in this game. They shouldn't have, but maybe they did. Huh. I mean, IRL, Kenny Walker was solid. He just didn't have the longest career. That's an interesting choice. Do I take the guy who topped this draft class, IRL, in scoring, Jeff Hornacek? Or do I take Kenny Walker? Look at my roster really quickly. Now, obviously, we have Dumars already at guard. Watley's there, too. Forward right now is Sam Mitchell. I don't have a power forward at all. I mean, Sam Mitchell can technically play a power forward. Spud Webb at point guard. One could argue Kenny Walker is a better fit for the team. Showing up with a B potential. So was Hornacek. Apparently Del Curry and John Williams are showing up as A-minuses. I don't trust that. John Williams certainly might not be that bad. Draft best available, or do I draft for need with Kenny Walker? Kenny Walker is a better need fit. Hornacek does complicate things for me. He's obviously a great three-point shooter. Ah, man, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. do like Kenny Walker a lot. I feel like it's got to be Hornacek, though. Again, he was the best player out of this draft. And Walker might only be, like, actually like a C potential. Best player available or for need? If I go for Hornacek, that pretty much means that I put, if I end up having Watley under contract, like Watley ends up being the guy to get dealt. That way, like, Dumars is there. Gotta be honest. Gotta be honest. We're gonna risk it because I need to be better ASAP. I need to be better ASAP. I'm going for Kenny Walker. I know John Williams is younger, too. I don't know what the hell the listed potential was. Again, I don't trust it. He might actually be that good, but... I just don't want to have to be dependent on a trade. But... Kenny Walker fits into my lineup right now and would make me better for the playoffs. If I take Hornacek, I got to trade somebody up. Taking Kenny Walker. Taking Kenny Walker. If I did not just make the playoffs, I would have taken Hornacek. I had to take Kenny Walker. I got no choice. I got no choice. Olajuwon's going to drag this team to the playoffs. I might as well get somebody who can be on this team immediately. So, with that, we can sim to the next user pick, which will be me in the second round, if I'm not mistaken. And it is. Shout out to John Sally. Honestly, John Sally might be my guy. Bucket, what's going on, man? Dude, we play franchises of all kinds. Of all kinds. This game's animation's out of control. I haven't seen anything really gameplay-wise. At least not too much. We are easily going to take John Sally here. I need another big man. So, famous for Best Damn Sports Show. Welcome in, John Sally. I need you as a roster player, buddy. Do we have any other picks? Nope, that's it. So again, not a single pick there in that draft for the Clippers. Kenny Walker was actually a 77, so 1 overall point worse than advertised. Man, they have Brad Daugherty as the best rated guy in the draft. Fair enough. Which means Atlanta really screwed up not taking Brad Daugherty. Obviously, I didn't need a big man and didn't have the choice. Williams is a 75. You can make the argument Williams or Walker. I wanted to see... Hornacek didn't go until 19th to the Nuggets, which hurts you guys. 75th overall. Or 75 overall, not 75th overall. Duckworth was the last pick of the draft. And then how good was John Sally? A 73. That's not bad. Washburn was a 75, but he can't play power forward, so that works for me. I did miss Drazen Petrovic by 2 picks. He would have been tempting. But, yeah. I drafted for need. Not best available. Rookie signing. I'll be signing Walker and Sally. You guys have nothing to worry about in that regard. In terms of team options, I will be accepting the option for all of my boys here. For obvious reasons. Bobby Valentine, C+ potential. Don't mind keeping him. For you guys, obviously you're going to want to... Oh, wow, Bill Cartwright opted out. You're obviously going to want to keep Otis Thorpe and Trent Outlaw, but Bill Cartwright opted out of the final year of his deal. That is a huge, huge hit to the Clippers. 85 overall center just walked. Wow. Wow. Well, off to the qualifying offers then. For myself, I got Harold Rose. Well, I'm good to keep. What about Mark Wesley? Honestly, I'll keep Mark Wesley, too. For you guys, 26-year-old Corey Frazier, who's a 70. Doesn't have potential. You can let him go. Bob Ball has a C potential at 23. You might as well let him go to try to have money in free agency. Mitch Henderson's got a B plus though. He is 24 years old. You probably want to let him go too for the money. At least that's what I would do. Not a matter of trying to screw anybody. It's worth dropping him. I'm keeping my guys though. Just for the depth. So free agency. The Bulls. Oh my God. Magic Johnson, Adrian Dantley, Terry Cummings is a free agent. This is a massive draft class. Wow, Norm Nixon left you too. Whew. And you guys have negative cap space at the moment. It is showing that you could technically, you do have the money to offer Magic Johnson a contract, apparently. I do not. 121 is the most that I could offer. So the best deal I could offer for someone is like Dennis Johnson.
For those about to score, I salute you.
The best deal you could offer. What is the best deal you could offer? Shout out to B Major, by the way, the 23 months. Major, how are you? It's like 173. Most you can offer. I mean, what I'm looking at though here is the whole cap room situation. I mean, the interest stays maxed, so it looks like you guys could offer pretty much anybody a contract. So we'll look at the Clippers. Again, you're allowed to offer one dude a contract. Oh my God. Well, you don't have a point guard. You still have Quincy Randle at shooting guard. You don't have a forward. Are we allowed to re-sign people? Apparently we did miss the re-signings. But also, money was a problem too. I mean, I know when I checked, I had one guy that said test free agency. I could have sworn we checked your team, but maybe we didn't. Regardless, he would have had a bitch of a time trying to hold everybody. You got Otis Thorpe at power forward, Trent Outlaw at center. So you don't have a forward and you don't have a point guard. So factoring that into the situations that you find yourselves in, at point guard is your old point guard, Norm Nixon. And that's listed as affordable. So it didn't quite show Magic Johnson as affordable, apparently, but it looks like you could still offer him. So a point guard. There's Magic, there's Nixon, Ricky Green, Doc Rivers, Johnny Moore as the big names. And at forward, it's Adrian Dantley. You could bring back Terry Cummings. Clark Kellogg is there. Purvis Short. Quite a few forwards. So, with that, what we'll do is we'll put up a poll for you here. You know, what do Magic, other point guard, Cummings, other small forward. Let's see what you guys want to do for your one big free agent approach. For the Bulls, I'm going to double check my roster here while you guys vote on that. Honestly, I could just use anybody that improves the team. Again, I cannot offer a deal to Magic Johnson, so I can't compete with you on that front. What about Adrian Dantley? Nope, 121 is my max. Could go after Terry Cummings, which after what he just did for you guys, I am certainly intrigued. Definitely don't need a center. Buck Williams at power forward. This dude's looking for under $1 million. Kenny Carr. Could go for Buck Williams. Again, even with the re-sign phase, you guys would have had trouble. You would have been in the same spot of like, oh, well, do we offer Terry? If you offer, like, for example, you probably would have kept Terry Cummings. You wouldn't have been able to go for Magic. You would have had to choose one way or another. And the big issue is you guys haven't been drafting a ton of people, which I believe is the way to kind of get people on cheaper contracts. So chat has elected to try to bring Magic Johnson to the other team in California. Have it as a max option. He wanted a 4-year deal, which is the max at the time. You could give him a player option, but it won't increase anything. It looks like Magic is the offer. For the hell of it, you could give him a player option if you cared to. Looks like people are shouting it out, so that'll be the deal for Chad to try to bring in Magic. That offer's in. And again, theoretically, because I will be nice about it. If you also wanted to offer Terry Cummings a deal, I would say sure. The problem is, with the cap, there's a chance if Terry Cummings accepts, Magic might decline because you might not have the money anymore. So that's up to you. But Magic's your one offer. But I will say, if you want to offer Terry Cummings a deal, I'll say sure, go for it. The offers from the Warriors that he is very, very interested in. Very, very interested in. So you might not even be able to compete there. You might as well hold out to see if you have the money to actually bring in Magic, because it's close. You're not allowed to look at lower priced players. Magic's your one guy. It's the same thing for me. I only get one offer to one player. So the rest of your team, it's going to be Magic Johnson and his band of merry men this season. So your only other option is to either try to sign Terry Cummings as well to bring him back or leave. That's it. The other offers for Magic, by the way, there are 5 teams right now with a 100 rating. Suns, Cavs, Bucks, and Lakers that are trying to keep him. Of course, the Lakers can offer him that extra year. So you're doing everything you can to try to bring him in. And with Cummings, again, you can risk it to try and sign him, but if he signs first, you might not have the money for Magic based on the salary information at the top of the screen. So that's up to you guys. That is up to you. And if you miss out on Magic, we'll have to negotiate whether or not we're allowed to go after somebody else and have them be our one signing, or if that's it, that's it. So that is the choice that you have. Again, if the vote ends up being tied, we go to a coin toss to decide what you end up doing. So, all right, Terry Cummings, that's it. For the Bulls. For the Bulls. Again, at point guard, I do not have the money for Magic. I just don't. I didn't have the money for Dantley. I did have the money to go after Terry Cummings, but I can't boost it to a max offer, and I know the Warriors are already there, so I probably don't need to risk that. I don't need Jeff Ruland at all, even though he could play power forward. That'd be pretty nice, but I can't guarantee the team would play him there. Clyde Drexler's only 24. Jesus, what are the offers for Clyde? It would have to be a 100-point offer, which I could do from the looks of it. Could go for Clyde Drexler. Buck Williams isn't an amazing fit for me. There's 3 other offers. 100 interest from the Nets. Oh, man. Darrell Griffith, Orlando Blackman. I don't know what the hell I want to do here. We got Watley at point guard. Spud Webb behind him. Dumars, so I don't want to sign anybody better than Dumars, because Dumars should play. We just brought in Kenny Walker. I need a power forward better than John Sally. That way Walker and Mitchell can be there. I need a power forward better than John Sally. It makes sense for it to be Buck Williams. If it's not Buck Williams, it's Kenny Carr. Kenny Carr would be cheaper. It's not as much competition for him. There's also Tom Chambers. Kenny Carr could be that veteran presence that I need. Could be. Interior defense for Buck is really good. The rebounding, the physicality. I mean, Buck's just the overall better player. Maxwell at 30's got 20 badges. Fucking hell. God, do I go for Buck Williams? Oh, man. This is tough. How are the other offers? 100% for the Nets. I'm going to go after Kenny Carr. I'm going to go for the veteran. I think he'd fit the team pretty well. Looks like he'd be significantly cheaper. I'm going to try to drop that price. Get him on that extra year, but give him a player option. Player options don't appear to do much. These guys just care about money. So, Kenny is my offer. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. You still have a penny. Oh! Accepted other offer is what it's showing for Magic. You might not have landed him. Now is the time. I am going to just double check these to see if these guys are worth keeping for you. I don't think they were. Frazier's 26 and a D potential. So, in the past, if I'm not mistaken, what it's been has been if you miss, you miss. You could technically cap hold Norm Nixon. And you can cap hold Terry Cummings, too, which is pretty smart. Roberson, it's worth letting him go. So that is the choice right now. I know people wanted Robert Reed gone because you didn't like him, but got a cap hold on Bill Cartwright as well. Honestly, it probably does just make sense to let the guys go. There's not much you can do. There's not much you can do. So, if you drop that money from the cap hold perspective, you might have a chance to negotiate with someone else. But again, that is what we have to decide right now. If you go for a big free agent, you swing and a miss. It can either be that's it, or we each get a chance to sign somebody else. But that goes for both of us. So it benefits you right now, but it would also potentially benefit me in future situations. So you can keep those cap holds up and see what happens, and then see who else you can negotiate with as well. Let me know what you think. Kenny Carr! Welcome to Chicago, baby. Welcome to Chicago. Let me just double check what we got here. I imagine I have to renounce most of these guys from a financial incentive. We cap hold, is there a chance that they'd stay on the team? I believe that was how it worked, yeah. Sure, that would put me over the cap, and I'm allowed to keep those other two guys. So that's why we didn't get Magic. That's not true. Magic could have accepted the offer, and then he would have had a chance to drop the cap holds, just like I'm doing. So the cap holds had nothing to do with you guys not getting Magic. All right. Well, I am going to keep the cap hold on Rose and Davis. Drop everybody else. And sign Kenny Carr. So, it makes sense to keep the cap hold for now. Magic Johnson has returned to the LA Lakers. So that is the time. I'm seeing a lot of people in chat say that's it. I'm seeing a lot of people in chat say that's it. I will let you send an offer to Terry Cummings. If you want to send the money out to Terry now, I will allow that. So if you want to sign Terry, I will allow it, given that he was yours. We'll do that to say you can still negotiate with guys who were on your team. So you still have Terry there. You have Nixon. Oh, wait, Dantley went to the Bullets. Drexler to the Kings. Henderson. Apparently you guys ended up keeping Mitch Henderson. Good to know. All right. we will send that deal for Mr. Cummings. It's going to have to be a max offer for him, too. And we'll see if he signs with you to get that extra 5th year there. So that is the offer for Cummings. A lot of people wanted Norm Nixon to go. So, and then there was Bill Cartwright who rejected a deal with you guys. So, I mean, technically, if you wanted to put in offers for Nixon, for Cartwright, I will allow it. Since they were on your team last season. And in fairness, if you were to go for Norm Nixon, that'd be the type of deal he's looking at. 5-year deal, $1 million salary. So, up to you if you also wanted to send deals out to Norm Nixon and Bill Cartwright, given that they were on your team. We'll put up another poll really quickly while I double check my team. So Nixon, Cartwright, both or neither to send offers to. Let's see what you guys think. I don't think you had that other like big name that was out there that stepped away. I think those were it. So, see what you guys think. And then for the Bulls, so Watley and Webb, Dumars, Walker, Mitchell, Valentine, Sally. I added a new power forward. I'm heading into playoff territory here. That is true. Reed was also there. But if you say both to these guys, then yeah, screw it. Well, in fairness, you only have 3 offers this week anyway. As both is going to win this vote. So send that deal to Norm Nixon and send that deal to Mr. Cartwright. See what happens for you guys. Whoops, that was for the Bulls. Glad I noticed. Can I not? Well, I guess I'm sending offers for them, but I could technically decline them because there's nothing I can do anyway to sign them. I don't have the space. It looks like I can't retract an offer. Good to know. Can I please retract an offer? No, at least not from this screen. Good to know. All right. So yeah, for the Bulls, obviously, no, I will not. I will not take Bill Cartwright. I want Rose and Davis if possible, but Kenny Carr is my big signing. For you guys, so Mitch Henderson's 24 years old, 68 overall, B+ potential. You have the option to hold on to that guy. You got the cap hold on all the big guys still. They haven't answered you. Unfortunately, is what's happened. They haven't answered you. It does probably make sense to keep Henderson as a younger player who can still develop, although you could argue it's not worth the money. Actually, you got no choice but to match it, because I can't hit the button. Hitting the button right now, and it's not working. So, all right, let's see what happens. Norm Nixon has gone to Milwaukee. So you still got the offer out for Terry Cummings. But, yeah, right now, you're not getting much in the way of answers here. Cummings, Cartwright, still out there. Cartwright's willing to come back while still having the hold on Reed and Cummings. So it looks like you're going to be able to hold on to Mr. Cartwright here after he declined that deal. But again, I'll allow you to renegotiate with him. Terry Cummings still hasn't made a decision. He still hasn't made a decision. Will Terry Cummings come back to San Diego? He will not. He departs for the Utah Jazz. And that will end the free agency side of things. I will allow people to, I saw that there was, hey, bring back Reed, so you can send him a base offer. I'll allow it, and he accepted. So I got a chance to match the deal for Harold Rose, which, again, 23 years old, only a C+. I'll let him go. All right. We are good. We are good. We are good. A interesting free agency period As Olajuwon's up to a 92, Dumar's an 84. Carr does regress the second I sign him. The bench got better. Not bad for Chicago, whereas the Clippers are going to have a lot of depth filling out the team. With Thorpe, Randall getting better, Reed got a little bit worse, Outlaw, no real improvement. An interesting situation for the two teams as we go through the Summer League and get to the 1986-87 season. And again, it is a big year. Scottie Pippen, David Robinson, Kenny Smith. There are some notable names. Reggie Lewis is in this draft. Muggsy Bogues. I mean, there are Horace Grant, who should not be picked that low. There's some good players in this draft. In terms of the draft picks, the Bulls have 4 first-round picks. Our own, the Nuggets, the Spurs, and the Sonics. Thanks to the lottery protection that gave them the first pick this year. We also have a second, and again in 1988, looking at 2 first-round picks as well, potentially. Whew. For the Clippers, 2 firsts, your own and the New Jersey Nets. So 2 first-round picks for the Clippers this year, 4 for the Chicago Bulls. But will we even make it to that draft?